Hi everyone, I'm Denise, the bride-to-be in this whole mess. Or, I guess I should say, the former bride-to-be, since the wedding is officially off. I've seen my future mother-in-law's version of events, and let me just say, I have a lot to clarify. Honestly, I'm still stunned that things have escalated to this point, but after all that's happened, I realized that calling off the wedding might have been the only option. Let's start from the beginning. Mark and I have been planning this wedding for months, and it's been stressful, like weddings usually are. But what made it so much worse was his mother, Carol. Now don't get me wrong, I liked Carol at first. She seemed sweet and welcoming when we started dating, but once wedding planning began, everything changed. First, there was the wedding dress situation. I found my absolute dream dress after a long search, something I was excited to wear on the biggest day of my life. But Carol kept insisting that I wear her dress from 30 years ago. She went on and on about how it was timeless and pristine, but it wasn't remotely what I had in mind. I politely declined multiple times and thought that was the end of it. Then I found out she actually called the bridal boutique and canceled my dress behind my back. I was furious. She claimed she was trying to save us money and that wearing her dress would be sentimental, but the truth is, she just wanted things her way. We managed to get past that, barely, and I reordered my dress, but the tension never really went away. I thought maybe things would calm down after that, but I was wrong. The next issue came with the wedding cake. Mark and I had already gone to a cake tasting and picked out the flavors we wanted. Something light and elegant, in line with the rest of the wedding. Out of nowhere, Carol offers to make our wedding cake herself, explaining that she once took a 2-hour cake decorating class 30 years ago. She kept telling me how good she was at decorating cakes, even though she's only done it for family birthdays. I mean, this is a wedding, not a backyard barbecue. And to top it off, she wanted to change the flavor to Mark's favorite, chocolate with raspberry filling, when we had already chosen what we both liked. It felt like another attempt to control the day. I told her, as politely as I could, that we had already made our choice and that I didn't want her making the cake. But instead of understanding, she got frustrated. And this is the recurring theme here. Every time I made a decision about our wedding, she tried to change it. Whether it was the invitations, the flowers, or the bridesmaids' dresses, she had an opinion and wanted to help by changing things. It got to the point where I felt like nothing about the wedding was going to reflect my or Mark's tastes. It would just be a reflection of what Carol wanted. Things finally blew up when I told her point blank that if she couldn't stop trying to control everything, she wouldn't be invited to the wedding at all. I was fed up. I wasn't trying to be rude, but I was at my breaking point. This was supposed to be a special day for Mark and me, but Carol made every part of it about her. I couldn't take it anymore. Well, guess what? Mark overheard that conversation. He got angry with me for suggesting that his mother wouldn't be invited. And that turned into a huge argument between us. He said he wouldn't get married if his mom wasn't there. And you know what? I was so exhausted, so worn down by all of this that I just said, fine, let's not get married then. And here we are, wedding canceled. I never wanted it to come to this. I love Mark, and I wanted to marry him, but I couldn't handle his mother's constant interference and the way he didn't step in and try to block her attempts at sabotage under the guise of helping. This was supposed to be our special day, a day that reflected our love and our choices, but Carol couldn't respect that, and Mark couldn't stand up to her. That's the real issue here. So now the question is where we go from here. Mark and I are taking some time apart to figure out what we really want. I'm devastated, but I'm also relieved. I couldn't go through with a wedding where I felt like I had no say, and I definitely couldn't imagine spending the rest of my life in a marriage where his mother was always calling the shots. Maybe Mark and I will find a way to work things out. Maybe we won't. But at the end of the day, I know that I deserve to have a wedding and a marriage that respects my choices. I don't regret standing up for myself, even if it meant calling off the wedding. To anyone else dealing with a controlling future in-law, stand your ground. If they can't respect your boundaries now, it's only going to get worse later. As for me, I'm heartbroken, but I know I made the right call.